Hi Taurus, my loves, how are you doing? It's been a while. I have had a break, but I'm back now and I'm going to pull some cards for you. Hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to have a quick look at past energies, current energies, where those energies might take you, bearing in mind everyone has free will, alright? You and other people. And we don't really do kind of hard and fast predictions, not in the context of a collective read especially here. It's just kind of about exploring issues. Yeah. And all that. Let's get you some past cards. It's a general reading, okay? I'm not looking at any particular area of life. When I talk about the energies, to a certain extent, it's for you to decide kind of if I'm talking about your energy or someone else's energy, or be that a friend, a romantic partner, a work colleague, whatever, or even, you know, energies can refer to, you know, a job in and of itself. You aren't messing about, are you, with these cards, Taurus? Let's see what happens. Not sideways in the beginning of your read. Why did I say beginning? People are in the centre of the beginning. Don't mind me, Taurus. You don't normally get to see me this tired, Taurus, because normally I do earth signs second, but because of the way I left it, and I did air, water, fire, so earth signs are my last block of signs. So I'm a bit tired by now. That's alright though. I love doing the readings. It's just I'm a bit tired. Ooh, alright. So this is the oh my god, that's so funny. This is the overall energy of your reading. Now when I saw the Ten of Swords come out sideways, I did think, oh, someone's trying to make a decision, and that's often how I read it when cards happen to fall sideways. It's like it's like almost a sort of indecision between sort of the upright and the reversed energy often. So what's coming through to me here, like the overall energy of the reading, is contemplating whether to end something, basically, to cut a long story short. Now, underneath the 2 on the bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. And I know I just said that I talk about energies and it's for you to sort of take the energies and apply it to your life as you see fit. I do think for a lot of you, this ending that you're considering is related to freeing you up, or is a decision related to your calling, basically, because that's what the Judgment card is. The Judgment card is about your calling, about your purpose in life. So it seems to me that's the decision that you're weighing up here. For a lot of you, for others of you, you might be trying to decide whether to give someone a second chance, because that's the other meaning of the Judgment card as well. Or someone or something a second chance. But even if we're talking second chances here, that can also relate to your calling, your purpose in life. So take that as you will. Now I'm going to do a quick summary of past energy, current energy and future energy, and then we're going to go back and we're going to dig underneath, because that's the way I've decided I like doing my readings. It does mean they're a bit longer, so make a cup of tea, because we're probably going to be here for 40 minutes. I aim for 30, but a lot of signs have gone over that, and some have gone over the 40-minute mark. Right, past energy here. The High Priestess and the Hierophant are counterparts. It's always interesting when they come out together. We've got one in reverse though, and then we've got the Death card and an extra card on your top row popped out, which is the Five of Wands. There's a few ways I could read this. I feel that there's some sort of relationship here that is usually balanced, and certainly has the potential to be balanced, and it's two people who are compatible, but at the moment there's kind of fighting going on. I'll be honest, God, it's bit weird with the Five of Wands up against the Death card like that. Let's just leave it at that for a moment. Fighting. I was going to say it feels quite petty. It almost feels like squabbling. It feels like the word squabbling would be appropriate, but then the Death card is making it feel a bit serious. I suspect it's squabbling on the surface, but underneath that it actually is possibly revealing some more sort of serious issues, if you know what I mean. It doesn't feel terminal, for want of a better way. I don't know, I feel a lot of hope about this situation, in all honesty, but it's because I can just see that you are, and I don't know if this is a romantic situation, a job, or whatever. I can just see that there's a fundamental compatibility here. All right, just bear with me 1 second. We're recording again. Good. I'll leave it there for that past energy. I mean, yeah, take it as you see fit. You know, you can apply this compatibility that I'm talking about to you and a job, or you and a partner, or you and a friend, or you and a colleague, or someone you're working with on a project, whatever. Current energies. You've got 2 cards of decision making. You've got the 2 of Swords as well as the 2 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. You are wondering about sort of drawing a line under something, putting an end to something. You want to be more productive. You're considering putting an end to something in order to free yourself up to be more productive. The Empress is a card of, you know, the Empress is productive, the Empress is abundant. And we could be talking in financial terms, we could be talking, you know, but we don't have to be talking in financial terms when we talk about abundance. Productivity, abundance, you know, creativity, the things you create. It doesn't have to be for financial gain, but for some of you it could be. There's something that you seem to have identified as getting in the way of this, and you're working out. It's like you're asking yourself, do I end this? Do I not end this? Or it could be more a case of how do I end this, actually, rather than do I end this. Or what parts of it do I need to end? Because I'm just thinking, like, for you, those of you who are applying this to what I said earlier, to a sort of romantic situation, and obviously we do have the Death card, but it's not feeling like ending the relationship to me. It's more like, what patterns of behaviour are we getting in that we need to end? So if you're looking, excuse me, if you're looking at all this in terms of a romantic relationship, that's more the vibe I'm getting is, you know, what unhealthy ways that we relate to one another do we need to put to an end? What unhealthy behaviours do we need to put to an end? But equally, you know, if you're single or whatever, or you know, you don't identify with this sort of squabbling, as I put it, within a relationship, equally, in a more general sense, this could be, what patterns of thinking within myself do I need to put an end to? What do I need to put an end to be abundant, to be productive, in whatever way applies to you? You know, it could relate to your calling. It could relate to a relationship. It could relate to just sort of improving yourself. Yeah. Okay. I hope that makes sense. We'll see more when we dig underneath anyway. Future energy. It feels in the future like you're putting off making a decision, I'll be honest, with the Hanged Man. And therefore you are remaining in these destructive patterns of behaviour. It's not the most cheery read for your future there, but I can only say what I see. It feels a bit stuck. But, you know, like I say, we don't do hard and fast predictions. We dig underneath what's going on, and we explore, like, the key issues, the core issues. And I will say we do tend to do the most digging on this future line, because it just feels the most useful often. So we can really dig underneath this, and yeah, it doesn't seem all that great, but like, you know, at least we've identified something that's not all that great. And to be honest, at least it's on the surface. This is all surface energy. These first 9 cards, which happens to be 10 cards, well, plus a bottom card in this case, these are surface energies actually. So the fact that it's on the surface means you've got something to work with, at least Taurus, I would say. Right, let's go back to the past and let's get underneath this petty squabbling. Petty squabbling, but you see, even the way these cards fell, it's like petty squabbling on the surface, but underneath it really is, it does feel the case that certain stuff needs to end. And I don't mean the relationship needs to end, but that could be the case for some of you, but just certain patterns of behaviour, certain behaviours. It's highlighting what behaviours need to end, I feel. Let's see more about this High Priestess in reverse then, please. Let's see more about this High Priestess in reverse. It almost feels like one person's changed or one energy's changed and the other hasn't. So I mean, this could be a job. It could be like the job's changed but you haven't. Or partners in the relationship. One person's sort of changed in a way that, like, the other person's a bit like, what? I don't know, that's what it feels like. I was looking underneath this High Priestess, wasn't I? Tell me more about this High Priestess for Taurus, please. Oh, all the swords, all the swords. Communication. Oh, this High Priestess is bottling stuff up. I don't know who this High Priestess is. I don't know if it's your energy or somebody else's. But we've got sideways cards pertaining to communication here. And it's like, it just feels like this person really wants to say something, but it just isn't coming to the surface. And I mean, the High Priestess card, if we just look at it on its own, when it's in reverse, it is secrets, you might say. Secrets seems like too severe a word, to be honest, because it's not like this person is being secretive. It's not like they don't want to share, but it just feels like it's stuck. It feels like communication is just stuck. Like, so now we've seen that, let's try and ask why, because that feels like it would be a useful question to ask for you. Why is this communication stuck? Why is this communication stuck? Pain, fear. Someone's scared they're gonna what? They're gonna what? Hurt. It feels like talking's painful. Some of you literally could have a sore throat. I mean, I'm sorry, I know that's very literal, but I've got to say it. I've got to say it because it's there. It's right there. So some of you, it could be like a physical problem that's causing pain when you talk, but you know, I think this is more of an emotional blockage for most of you. Afraid to talk because they don't want to cause hurt to themselves, hurt to another person, hurt to what? Hurt to the relationship, probably all of the above. Hurt. Tell me more about this hurt. No, fine. That's a lot of cards. Magician, Ace of Pentacles reverse, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups feels very relevant. They don't want to upset the balance. They don't want to upset the harmony. Is it harmony though? Is it truly harmony? Feels like a false sense of harmony. It's like there's a false sense of harmony. And you know, the Queen of Cups is in reverse. It just backs up what I'm saying. This flow of emotion is blocked. Not as extremely as it blocked as it would be if we saw the Knight of Cups in reverse here. Don't ask me about reverse Knight of Cups. I have a whole rant about reverse Knight of Cups. Just these readings, they've been so full of that. It's almost like, because these two cards together kind of feel like growth and making stuff happen. Oh, God. Okay, for some, this might be for one person, but I feel like one person here almost, it's around cancelling plans. There's something about cancelling plans. I don't think this applies to all of you, but there's someone here who wants to cancel, or in the past wanted to cancel plans. Plans have been made and they wanted to cancel them. It almost feels like cancelling a wedding. This could go way back in your past. You know, what do they call it when you want, oh, cold feet, getting cold feet, but like more than cold feet, like, but it might not be that. But I feel the energies, and I try to give real life examples of, to translate the energies, and it certainly could translate into something like that. But it, you know, for others of you, it's just, they don't want to upset the balance. But you know, is it really balance if your voice, your flow of emotion is going to upset it? I don't know. I'm reading this Three of Swords after pulling these. I'm reading this Three of Swords more as a sort of, they're not worried about hurting themselves. They're afraid to speak up because they don't want to hurt someone else. Well, probably the Hierophant, to be honest, which is sort of their counterpart, you know, to give a real life example of how this is if we're talking romantic partnership. But you know, it could be like your employer. You're afraid to upset your employer or something like that in the past here. I don't know. So how are we doing for time? Let's get underneath this Hierophant. Find out more about this Hierophant, because it feels like the High Priestess is scared of upsetting the Hierophant. So why? I don't know. Let's find out more about this Hierophant. This Hierophant, the Devil in reverse. Oh. I'm actually not reading that as negatively as it kind of sounded when I saw it, but you know, it's all tying to this future, because we've got the Devil here and the Three of Swords here. Five of Wands again. Right, yeah, Five of Wands in reverse again. I mean, right. I kind of sort of feel like this, and the Magician again. Whoo! All the repeat cards are coming out. They're in a reverse King of Cups on the bottom. So this is what clarified the Hierophant. Five of Wands again, which was on top of the Death card. Reverse Devil, we've got the Devil down here in your future. Reverse Magician, we pulled the Magician underneath the High Priestess, which kind of backs up what I was saying about cancelling plans. Something to do with cancelling plans. Something that you both thought was gonna happen. It feels like if I speak my truth, this thing is at risk of not happening. But I don't know if the High Priestess, whoever that is, wants it to happen. I feel like the High Priestess here just has more awareness of the dynamics of this relationship, the way these two energies relate to one another, however you want to assign the energies. Because it's like the Devil, what the Devil in reverse underneath the Hierophant is telling me is that this Hierophant figure, whoever it is or whatever it is, a job, an employer, a romantic partner, is a bit lacking in awareness of the kind of patterns of behaviour that are going on here, the various dynamics that are at play here. I think they might be quite prone to taking things personally. And then that heightens this Five of Wands energy, this sort of energies butting up against one another, this sort of squabbling energy gets heightened because something to do with this Hierophant here being less aware of the dynamics at play than the High Priestess. The High Priestess seems pretty savvy to the various dynamics that are at play, the various patterns of behaviour that get fallen into, which they don't exactly feel like super toxic to me, these dynamics. They just feel, yeah, unhealthy, but like not in a way that can't be worked on, if you know what I mean. It's very easy for two energies to slip into an unhealthy dynamic. It is, and it's about recognising that. But I feel there is recognition on the part of the High Priestess, but there isn't recognition on this side. Yeah. So there is a kind of squabbling energy. For some of you it might, on the surface it seems like squabbling anyway. Underneath, let's go underneath, because that Death card's underneath. So what's underneath this squabbling? What's underneath this squabbling? Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. Let me just show you. What's underneath this squabbling? It's Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is standing up for yourself, and more to me it's coming through with standing up for your needs, expressing your needs. I don't think everybody's needs in this situation is getting fully expressed. And I think that's kind of where the Death card comes in. That's what needs to end. It's a bit of a double negative, but it's like what needs to end is the lack of expression of needs. What else is underneath this Five of Wands energy, please? A reverse Hermit. There's a withdrawal here. I suspect it's more from the Hierophant's side. There's a withdrawal here, but it's not a sort of healthy introspective withdrawal. It's more of a shutdown withdrawal. The Magician in reverse again. You couldn't make it up. And the Ten of Wands in reverse. So it all just feels very heavy, very. It's a sort of situation where it almost feels a bit burdensome, but I do feel like that burden can be lifted with recognition of the issues, because we've got the Death card. I feel that there can be an end to this burden, and it's in reverse. Reverse sometimes is outgoing energies, and this does feel like more of an outgoing energy. But I think you both need to embrace this Seven of Wands energy to deal with this, i.e. have an awareness of your needs and then stand up for them in a fair but assertive way. 3 times under every single card, 3 times we've had that reverse Magician come out. Isn't that interesting? Magician reverse. Just hoping that you're going to get what you want without putting the effort into getting it is what it feels like. And it's more on the Hierophant side, because I'll be honest, the High Priestess, it didn't come out quite in reverse, it came out kind of sideways. But it's sort of like there's a little bit of a sense of entitlement with this Hierophant coming out, actually, which, you know, is a kind of can be an energy that you link with the Hierophant anyway, a sort of, well, this is the way we've always done things, this is what's always worked for me, everyone else needs to just go along with it, that sort of thing. Yours or another person's energy, I don't know, Taurus. Let's get onto your centre line, your current energy. Yeah, I might have guessed that would happen. Let me just pop that down there. So trying to make a decision about what to end to bring about abundance. Do you know what, I sort of feel like we've already covered it up here, because yeah, but let's get underneath that Ten of Swords and see if we can see anything else. Right, okay, let me just go to this deck, because this feels like quite a specific question, and when I have specific questions I love going to this deck. So can you give us anything else on what needs to end here for Taurus to get into their Empress energy, productiveness, abundance? Because I can see Taurus is deliberating over this, and I think we've examined some of it here, but right. Ten of Wands reverse again. The amount of repeat cards I'm getting at the moment is ridiculous. There is a feeling of something needs to give here, like there's a lot of responsibility here, and it sort of feels like you may benefit from kind of lightening your load. Queen of Cups upright. Nice. Yeah. And the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords reverse. It can be quite sharp communication. We've had it up here. None of these cards are new. All of these cards go back to up here. I don't think really there's much more for me to say, to be honest. I think we've explored, by exploring underneath these issues, I think we have explored underneath this Ten of Swords. Yeah, I don't think there's much more for me to say, apart from when the Son of Swords come out. What I didn't say is that the reverse Knight can be quite rash, quite sharp-tongued, quite, you know, because the Sword Court cards are honest. The Knights take everything to extreme. So sometimes, and especially when it's in reverse, in that sense, it can come across as very blunt communication, very determined, dogged, tunnel vision, narrow focus, and it's coming through as communication. So I think to improve, you know, whatever the situation is in your life, and to bring about more productivity, more abundance, something about communication style here. And why do you find yourself in that sort of reverse Knight of Swords energy where you can just be quite sharp and blunt and well, I can see why you end up in that energy, or you or another person, because you're just feeling weighed down and worn out. Yeah, something. What's coming through is the need to prioritise. God, I hate telling people stuff like that. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's so easily said, isn't it? But that's what's coming through, a need to prioritise, Taurus. For you or someone else, it's right in the centre of your reading, so I don't know. Apply it as you see fit. I'm going to leave it there for that current row, and I'm going to start digging under your future. So I do feel like it's going to take a bit of time to resolve this, which makes total sense, right? We're dealing with devil energy here. We're dealing with long-standing patterns of behaviour, you know, which can be very hard to change. And it's always kind of ongoing. Yeah. It's going to take time. I'm going to get underneath this Three of Swords for you. What's underneath this Three of Swords in Taurus's future, please? A Seven of Swords. A holding back. A holding back. It's the holding back that causes the pain, is what I'm hearing. And we had that up here, really, because I was talking all about the High Priestess. The High Priestess's communication was getting stuck. And then now here we have a card underneath the Three of Swords of holding back. God, it feels like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because this is how it feels to you. It's not the reality of it, but because the Three of Swords up here was like, why are you afraid to talk? You're afraid to talk because it'll cause pain. And in the future, it's like, what is causing you pain? What is causing you pain is not being able to talk. Is holding back. It feels, like I say, it feels like damned if I do, damned if I don't. But that's just how it feels. I also feel here there might be a bit of a dynamic of sort of inconsistency with communication and sharing and holding back, because the Knight of Pentacles has come out. So it feels like someone, whoever it is, sometimes just the communication stops completely, Hanged Man style. The communication stops completely, and then all of a sudden they get out of that energy, and it's just a word vomit, a feelings vomit as well. So I am getting that for some of you, and actually that for another person, sort of, I suppose, on the receiving end of that can be quite hard to deal with and can cause that pain, heartache. Yeah, and that is one of the patterns of behaviour that Spirit's kind of wanting you to look at. But you know, it's so human to get into these patterns of behaviour. I think it's just, I suppose, about having an awareness of it, isn't it? Else, you know, things just feel wrong and you can't work out why they feel wrong. Well, at least when you have an awareness of it, I don't know, it's got to help, right? Well, presumably you wouldn't be here if you didn't think it would help, because it's the type of thing that tarot uncovers. Well, for me it is anyway. So shall we just find out more about like relevant patterns of behaviour then? We've explored quite a lot, I think, but yeah. Got a King of Swords, a reversed Four of Wands, and a sideways Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups. Again, King of Wands reverse on the double, on the bottom of the deck. Not my favourite energy. I get the sense that like there's two people here who are mirroring each other quite a lot, so it can sort of end up in a bit of a downward spiral. We've had the Queen of Cups out twice, and the Queen of Cups is very intuitive, and so is the High Priestess. Very intuitive, can pick up on each other, can pick up on another person's emotions. And I feel that here there's a bit of a mirroring whereby sort of one person gets anxious and then the other person feels the anxiety and they get anxious, and then the other person feels that anxiety. Do you know what I mean? And then there's this sort of downward spiral of anxiety, and you can't even quite work out what happened at the beginning. It feels like there's a bit of that possibly going on here. Yeah, it's a dance, isn't it, that often happens between energies, I suppose, particularly in a romantic situation. Like something sparks one person off to sort of feel a bit insecure or vulnerable, so they take a step away, and then this person sees that this person has stepped away, so they're like step away, and then it you can just end up getting further and further apart in that sort of dynamic. But you know, the dance can go other ways as well, you know. But yeah, I don't know, something like that. But it's about recognizing it and communicating about it, and then that sort of leads to a more harmonious, balanced situation between the two energies. Let's just see what's underneath this Hanged Man then, if there's anything else I can tell you about that, because what have I really told you about that Hanged Man is, so far, I don't think I've told you everything of use about that Hanged Man. It feels like there's something else to say. Not going to be resolved anytime soon, I suppose. This feels like almost being stuck in this decision-making energy. Let me see if I can get confirmation of that, or if there's anything else this Hanged Man's trying to tell us. That's too many cards. What's underneath this Hanged Man, please? What's underneath this Hanged Man, please? Do you know what else is another... Sorry, before I go there. What else is coming up as a sort of pattern of behaviour here is a sort of not being able to celebrate the good things. Like, it feels like quite a lot has been achieved here, but... And the Four of Wands upright is about celebration. And sort of recognising your achievements and recognising how far you've come. And I suspect, like that's under a devil. Like, I don't really want that to be under a devil for you, Taurus. I want you to celebrate how far you've come, alright? I just had to say that. Right, anyway, back to this Hanged Man. The Seven of Swords again. God, the repeat cards, it's unbelievable. Yeah, okay, there's a holding back here. There's a being afraid to be seen, like with this hood over his head, being afraid to be seen. And that's obviously what's keeping things feeling like they're in a state of suspension. So what's the best way to try and resolve this? What's the best way to try and resolve this sense of suspension? Four of Cups reversed, Three of Cups reversed, the Wheel. So the Three of Cups upright is just such a card of flow of emotion, beautiful flow of emotion, openness, vulnerability. Yes, it's not happening. We can see that already. The Seven of Swords here, it's not happening. But I was asking how to resolve this sort of suspended state. Four of Cups came out. I'll show you it upright, but it did come out in reverse. I feel like somebody sort of needs to admit that they actually give a shit. Four of Cups is kind of, I don't give a shit, to be blunt. But let's just ask why that Four of Cups is there. Let's ask why that Four of Cups is there. Does someone not give a shit? Why is this Four of Cups here? Four of Pentacles and the Empress in reverse. I'll show you them upright. Oh, look what's showing its face again when we're clarifying the Hanged Man. This is a bit of a sign that I've really banged on as much as I really can about this. I will interpret these cards and the Wheel, but Spirit's like, yeah, you got to stop. There's nothing else. And also what's coming through with both those Hanged Man is like, it's possibly not quite the right question that I'm asking. I'm asking how to resolve this state of suspension. It's possibly not a useful question to ask. It's probably more, and that's why the Wheels come out. Yeah, it's probably more about just accepting this state of suspension, and because the Hanged Man, it often feels like time and space to process, you know? So I think it's about allowing that, and actually even asking the question of how do we get out this energy is just forcing things in a way that's kind of unnatural. Yeah. Let me just show you these. But I mean, the Four of Pentacles really just comes back to holding back again. I'm not reading it much different than the Seven of Swords in this context. And yes, it's stopping someone fully embracing this Empress energy of abundance. We already knew that. We've already talked about that. I don't think there's much more I can give you. If I'm honest, I think we've kind of hit a bit of a wall there, Taurus. What was there? Why is there no card there anymore? What's going on? I don't understand why there's no card. What card was there? It's really bugging me. I don't suppose it matters. I've already... Oh, it was the Two of Swords. Why is the Two of Swords moved? Where's the Two of Swords gone? What have I done with the Two of Swords? What deck was it? It was... Oh, it was this Rider-Waite. Oh, I've ended up putting it above the Judgment. The Calling, the card of Calling. Two of Swords is a card of not being able to see something, not being able to see clearly. So some of you just aren't seeing clearly with regards to like a calling or a purpose in life. Yeah. Right, we've hit the 40-minute mark, my loves. I've been, I've hit a wall with your Hanged Man, which was your last card on your bottom row. I don't know why I do as I see fit. And you should do as you see fit too, Taurus. Okay, take what resonates, leave the rest. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed or yet and you like the style of my readings, please subscribe. It helps the algorithms and all that nonsense. Yeah, I hope you got something out of that reading. Thank you for letting me read for you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Taurus.